Hi guys, this is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. This is the All Signs Broad Spectrum Daily Forecast. It is originally created for Monday the 29th of May. It is not solely set for that date. So if you're seeing it on a different date, by all means utilize the reading when you're seeing it, if it makes sense to your situation at that time. I do believe readings can be timely to find us when we need them rather than when they were originally created for. If this video doesn't make sense, it doesn't seem to fit with your situation, that's okay. Nothing's broken or wrong. You just might be working on something different at this time. For those of you that are new, please check out the drop-down menu underneath any of my daily readings. In there are some housekeeping rules, things I want you to think about when utilizing the channel, what decks I'm using during the reading, how to contact me via social media, either my Facebook business page or my Instagram if you're interested in a private reading. I'm not the biggest social media person, just so you know, but you can always follow me there. Know that I will never reach out to you to sell you a reading. You would have to initiate that conversation with me at one of those two places. And then other easy ways to support the channel are hitting that thumbs up button, hitting the subscription button, and the notification bell to get notified when I do put up daily content, which is daily. And sharing the video out and leaving me a question or comment. All of those things greatly help. Alright, so let's see what Spirit wants us to know for the 29th of May, Monday. What energies are around us or about, within us that we need to be made aware of, that we may find ourselves working with. What do we need to know? Oh, and I will refer back to the Sunday underpinning reading, so if you hear me talking about cards that aren't here, they're in that video, which populates in the lower left-hand corner at the end of this reading. So you can check that video out too, just for more insight. Alright, so our card for the day is the Emperor, card number 4. Not mad at him. We did have the 4 of Swords as the midweek card. So 4, that's the first thing I thought about, is that 4 energy, which is like a foundational strength energy. Underpinning this in the Sunday reading would be the Moon card, which is also major arcana similar to the Emperor. The Emperor's Aries energy. He's about taking action. He's kind of like, you know, the benevolent father. He loves you, but he's not necessarily going to tell you that he loves you, or he's going to need something from you. How do I want to put this? Like, he expects the best from us at all times, right? He expects us to be operating at the highest order. He requires us to stretch ourselves, to push ourselves, to really live up to the true aspects of who we are. When I think about this with the Moon underpinning this, you know, there is some challenges that we may be facing, especially emotionally or intuitionally, choices that could need to be made or steps that need to be taken. But the Emperor, to me, feels like these steps should be done with authority, with empowerment, with strength, with stability. That fiery desire of Aries can sometimes be seen as impulsive, but the Emperor, being card number 4, is going to balance that out. The choices should be good, right? They should be firm. They should need to be. With the Moon underpinning that, you know, there's always this sense of doubt with the Moon. The Emperor kind of clears that away. When whatever choice we're making or decision, step, path we're choosing, whatever it may be right now, we need to get behind our decision wholeheartedly and then fully live up to it, is what I feel like with this Emperor. You know, he's telling us, he's almost like the divine masculine aspect of ourselves, telling us to really believe in what it is we're doing, why it is we're doing it, how it is we're doing it, and stay with that, right? Like, don't, even if the Moon presents some doubts or some wavering or some emotional insecurity, that's okay. Step up into your Aries Emperor energy and take action on the thing that feels right, that guides us in the right direction. We're going to make sort of the right decision. Aries energy and the Emperor himself doesn't necessarily mean that it's always an easy decision to make, right? Or an easy path to take. But when we show up and we take that that harder path, the path that might require a little bit more work, there's a proudness or a pride with the Emperor that we should pat ourselves on the back a little bit because we chose the right thing. We took the right road, not the easy road. We chose to do the right thing, not what everybody else maybe wanted. We did what we needed rather than what others expected or what life expects from us to do. Or it just feels to me, this feels very empowered, even with the moon's influence underneath it. It's like we have to trust our own internal spiritual guidance and take action from that place, from a place of authority. We're still compassionate, but we're not like letting our emotions override our desire or our, what's the word I'm thinking of? It's not our determination, you know, like we're utilizing that, the moon's kind of intuitional guidance to fuel our determination to take right, correct action. The Emperor can see further ahead, can understand what is needed. He hires, like, his role is to hire and put the right people in the right roles to make the right decisions. It's not always the easiest to work with the Emperor. We have to somewhat almost push ourselves to impress him or to accomplish the goals. But when we do, there's a sense of self-satisfaction. There's a sense of empowerment that comes from this energy that should really help to balance out that moon, and also to help us to understand the power of the moon, to understand the power of the faith that's required to move through situations that we may not necessarily know how to navigate. The Emperor, I'm kind of just going to say this, he doesn't necessarily give a shit. He's like, this is what I want, this is what needs to happen, this is how we're going to go about doing it, regardless of what other people say. So let's look at the Untamed elemental. It is butterfly. I love it. It's funny because the Emperor's kind of a little bit on the hard side, or firm, demanding side, where butterfly to me is a much more softer symbol. It is air feeding, and I'm imagining it's air, it's got to be air, feeding the Emperor's fire of Aries energy, right? Butterfly is a transformation, and I was talking in the Sunday reading about how there was this sort of transformation or healing that's taking place this week. And I think that we're beginning to see it even in these cards. This transformation begins with us stepping up into our Emperor authority, our divine masculine, our action-taking aspect of ourselves, our stretching ourselves or pushing ourselves to the highest of our ability. And when we do so, it's kind of like how the butterfly comes out of the chrysalis. It goes in, it gets a little messy, and then it comes out this beautiful, delicate winged creature that is absolutely extraordinary. And so I feel like when we listen to our intuition of the moon and then we take action with the energy of the Emperor, we achieve this sort of metamorphosis or transformation that butterfly brings to the table, that allows us to see our beauty or expose a new aspect of ourselves that is absolutely extravagant, beautiful, delicate, all of those things, but still able to fly us to greater heights, if that makes sense. Let me find butterfly and read it to you. So butterfly is metamorphosis. The chrysalis trembles, a habitat palpitating with ardor. It is a theater of transformation materializing into form. With scales of painted wings, her pupil skin splits in two. This is an unwinding, enveloped by devout effort, through which an emergence takes place. Unencumbered by the limits of reason, her journey from caterpillar to butterfly is complete. The next stage now awaits her. She is a queen, empowered by her ancestral credentials to perform wonders. She greets the world with new eyes, a lineage of greatness supporting her. I love that it says she is a queen and we have the Emperor here, so there's like this masculine-feminine thing happening between these two cards. Butterfly's transformation was arduous. What courage it took to spin that cocoon, knowing what was to come. She is here to remind you that your precious life force needn't be squandered on maintaining outdated versions of yourself. Instead, use it for becoming an emanation of your spirit's purpose. Bewilderment during the metamorphosis process is normal. Breathe with this process. Meditate upon your present and future self as free, victorious, and soaring. Your time in the chrysalis asks you to draw upon your reserves of faith and courage, and these qualities will guide the way during your transformation. The balanced version is trust, self-care, and surrender. It's interesting because the weekly had self-care in the Four of Swords and in the Star card. Like the Star card to me is also sort of similar to butterfly. It's delicate, beautiful, healing. The imbalance is change averse, and to bring into balance, clear clutter and relinquish outdated beliefs. I feel like this butterfly is like a precursor, or not necessarily a warning, but like a precursor to the fact that this week is about this transformation. And this is the beginnings of this transformation by stepping up into the power of this emperor, even if we're underpinned or feeling confused emotionally or even intuitionally from that moon's influence underneath these two cards, right? It requires us to step forward with authority, with power, with like, is definity even a word? I don't even think it's a word, but like with a definitive perspective. That would be the Emperor's energy. But it allows us to begin that sort of change of the chrysalis and turn into the butterfly, to reap the rewards in due time, to be patient, to understand that sometimes we have to go through processes that require us to rise up, to extend ourselves, to be more than we knew we knew how to be, to reach and achieve the goal of the transformation of butterfly. Let's look at the clarifiers. Queen of Pentacles, not mad at her. The World, which is a completion and major arcana, and generally a celebration, and the Seven of Cups. Now this here to me is a little bit of that moon energy, that emotional confusion, right? Which route do we choose? Is this the right choice? Should I really do this? And I really think that we should, is my feeling. The reason being is that butterfly tells us that there's an opportunity here to transform, and it may not necessarily be readily apparent in the beginning of it all. The Emperor has the strength to trust his wisdom over anyone else's regardless, right? The Queen of Pentacles is about like sort of that compassionate feeling of manifesting, being connected to nature, being connected to the world around her, being, you know, associated with like sort of fertility, creativity. How do we want to be in our 3D world? How do we want our 3D world to look? How to beautify it more? How to become our own, you know, metaphorical butterfly and unfurl new beautiful wings or new beautiful parts or aspects of ourselves. The Queen is going to balance us, ground us, and be discerning in pacing us in such a way that we can do that. She will nurture us too. We saw in this position yesterday the Queen of Cups, so there is still this divine feminine sort of queen essence energy working with us during these transformations. The World to me is the actual transformation itself. It's the assimilation of the knowledge, the wisdom, the ending of the chapter, right? The celebration, the rising up, the awareness that comes with making the choice, being brave, standing on our own 2 feet or within our decision and backing it up wholeheartedly through the strength of the Emperor, even if we're feeling confusion, like with that moon card influence underneath this. We need to trust, you know, ourselves, our ability, the choices we take, the choices we make and the steps that we take, even if they cause us pause or a little bit of worry with this Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups will, you know, show us that even though there's a multitude of decisions or things that we're emotionally tied to, and we may have to choose one over the other or something to that effect, we will choose the right one ultimately, is my feeling, especially with such strong cards around here like the World, the Queen of Pentacles, the Emperor. We will be discerning, strong, action-oriented in correct ways and in empowered ways that will allow us to put endings or achieve learnings from situations that, you know, otherwise maybe caused us confusion, possible pain, disruption, that sort of a thing. And in the end, we get to transform into this butterfly. All right, so let's go to the grounding stone. And the grounding stone for today, I love it, is trust. So trusting this transformation, trusting these choices, trusting the authority of the Emperor to make the decisions, to employ the right people, to cut away what we don't need, trusting the, the nurturing nature of the Queen of Pentacles in our 3D world, trusting our ability to manifest, trusting that like maybe letting go or moving on, closing the chapter, taking what we've learned and assimilating it. All of that is part of this transformation that's taking place and this healing that I saw in the Sunday reading. This is the beginnings of it. And it's asking us to step up and be responsible for our own healing, for our own transformation, making the choice, clearing away the confusion. Even, here's the thing, with that Seven of Cups there, even if we make the wrong choice, it's not. Like, that's my feeling. It's like, there is no wrong choice. Probably, the way I would put this is, the only wrong choice would be to not make a choice, right? And in not making a choice, that is making a choice ultimately. Like inaction can be a form of taking action, right? By doing nothing, we're making a choice to do nothing. I don't think that's the case with the drive of the Emperor, the steadfastness of the Queen of Pentacles. This is about us getting beyond our fears, our worries, and getting behind ourselves and believing in ourselves enough to transform our situation, graduate from it, and watch the beauty unfold thereafter. Remember, the other grounding stone for the entirety of the week is it's blessed. There's a blessing in here. There is a transformation, a gift to be had. So don't deny yourself that gift. Empower yourself to move forward, make choices, take actions that bring about positive change in your life, both in the 3D and the 5D, that transform you into a more beautiful version of who you truly are, that's more in alignment with what you truly want. I hope that makes sense, you guys. I think that does. That is your reading for today. Please hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video. Share the video out. Leave me a question or comment on the video. And subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow to see how these energies transform and change. Check out the Sunday reading and you'll understand more of what I'm talking about with all of this. This should be an extremely transformational week. All right, have a wonderful day and take care. Bye-bye.